Hello and welcome to 1000ps.com. This time we are comparing the CB650R and Suzuki SV650. While the Honda CB650R and Suzuki SV650 have clear differences, they share the same fate. Both models have now been joined by new inline two-cylinder siblings. Nevertheless, they present themselves as a fabulous choice for naked bike fans. As already mentioned, the naked bike mid-range will be dominated by inline two-cylinders in 2023. At first glance, the CB650R looks a bit like a dinosaur, because inside it slumbers a silky smooth inline four-cylinder engine with a displacement of 649 cc. It pushes an official 95 horsepower at 12,000 revolutions per minute and 63 Nm of torque at 9,500 revolutions per minute onto the road, and is thus also A2 compatible. The data already reveals the engine's behavior. If you want to get the most out of it, it needs high revs. Although this is rewarded with a fantastic sound, it is a driving experience that you have to want on the one hand, and that has become rare these days on the other. The Suzuki SV2 behaves quite differently. A tried and tested colleague that an incredible number of motorcyclists have had to deal with in their careers. From 645 cubes, it produces 73 horsepower at 8,500 revolutions per minute and 64 Nm at 6,800 revolutions per minute. Even though the power is lower, it is available much earlier and thus helps to achieve powerful acceleration out of the bend. Although the engine doesn't have to be revved all the way to the limiter, the throaty V2 sound invites you to do so. Typical for this engine concept, the Suzuki unit does not cope as well as the Honda four-cylinder with low revs in urban areas. But once you get used to it, it doesn't present any difficulties. Even in the lower mid-range, high-quality electronic systems are now making inroads. However, both the Honda and the Suzuki are more of the older breed. Both models have classic LC displays that are no longer of the highest quality in terms of legibility. Driving modes are nowhere to be found, and only the Honda offers traction controls. In addition, the CB650R seems almost modern with its complete LED lighting, because Suzuki relies exclusively on halogen lights. Does this affect the rideability of the two naked bikes? Not really. Sure, you're always happy to have more electronic helpers in dicey situations, but more electronics usually means more weight and more potential sources of error. What's more, the bikes remain attractively priced due to their lower equipment levels. With a ready-to-ride weight of 206 kg as measured by us, the CB650R is certainly not one of the lightweights in its class, but the overall package remains accessible. The 810mm high seat provides a secure footing on the ground, while the handlebars are positioned in just the right and classic naked bike position. While riding, the suspension, adjustable in spring preload on the shock, offers a fair compromise in sportiness. On the highway, it exudes a very stable ride, but it can't be described as the most agile. The fully fueled SV650 weighed a full 201 kg on our scales, only slightly less than the Honda. Nevertheless, it gives off a livelier impression during the ride. On the one hand, this is due to the narrow overall width caused by the engine concept, which is combined with a low seat height of 785 mm. On the other hand, the Suzuki has the narrower 160 rear tire, which loses out in the look score, but scores in maneuverability. The SV650 also only offers adjustment of the spring preload on the shock absorber, but here too a balance has been found between comfort and sportiness. Only a wider handlebar would be desirable for even more manageable handling. Japanese motorcycles, no matter how cheap they are, you can expect a certain level of workmanship. Neither Honda nor Suzuki disappoint, even if clear differences are visible. The CB650R makes a super classy impression and pairs elegant looks with a high quality feel. The SV650 presents itself more down to earth in that chapter. The controls are functional and the finish is not quite as pleasing in some corners, such as the box swing arm. On the other hand, The trellis frame painted in the vehicle color is a real feast for the eyes and is nicely contrasted by the red painted rims. Let us come to the conclusion. In terms of rideability and accessibility, the Honda CB650R and Suzuki SV650 have little in common. The main difference lies in the engine concept. The Suzuki SV2 offers plenty of thrust from low revs and does not need to be revved to the rev limiter. The 4-cylinder inline engine on the Honda works in exactly the opposite way. The higher the engine revs, the greater the spectacle. Thus, two different driving styles are needed on these bikes. That both concepts work is shown by the sales figures and the construction time of the two naked bikes. Which one it should be can only be decided by personal preference, as well as a test ride. Pros: sovereign V2 engine with character, stable chassis, comfortable seating position, easy handling, timeless optics. Cons: narrow handlebars, except ABS, no electronics on board. Instruments moderately readable. Pros: rev-happy engine, reasonable performance, sporty seating position, wide handlebar, comfortable for everyday use. Cons: somewhat sluggish, display functional but not exciting. If you liked this video, please leave us a subscribe and like. See you next time.